And we're back. And today we're working on the number 12 Losi NASCAR. Is what we want to do with this thing today is this is the car that I don't race every week. It used to be. Then I bought a newer car, and for some reason that car handled better out of the box. This was my original Losi NASCAR that I had originally put brushless in, then went back to brushed and used it. Had a few people drove it as a test car so that they could try out the track where we race. And I am going to try something different with this car. I've never been able to get this car to quite handle like the other one, but this has also been my experimental tuning car where I've done different things to it to try to see if the upgrades and whatnot work to get the tuning good. And it's just not as fast as the stock car out of the box. The stock car is just a little bit better for the track that we run on. But I haven't give up on this car, so I've been wanting to do a modified class for these, where we run probably a brushless system. I'm going to have to run probably a little bit bigger of a track, but we'll see. But for now, so this car has been beat up quite a bit. You can see it's been raced well. Been a pretty good car. It has the, you can see we've already started working on it. So I just took the brushed system out of it. Kind of wasn't filming when I was thinking about starting to do all this stuff. I just pulled this has the aftermarket diffs in it, and the aftermarket diffs, they might work in certain conditions. Maybe road course they kind of worked all right, but to be honest with you, for the oval, for what we're running the size, I'll put a picture up here or a video over here to kind of show you what we're running. Any of the cars that have put these diffs in, they run like crap. They are just too hard to handle. You can get some pretty good single laps, maybe double couple laps, but it makes the car too unpredictable and inconsistent. So running the stock diff is the best. But I don't know if anybody's tried it yet, but I haven't, and I want to see how it works. In this car, so this diff, I even took all the oil out of it and completely just put light bearing oil in it to just smoothen it up, and it still got resistance, and that resistance comes from the O-rings that are in there, and the rear end just doesn't like that for rear traction. It just makes the rear end too slidey, too loose. So we have the front diff in here that's pretty much cleaned out, has a little bit of resistance, not much. And where we're running a modified car, I still kind of feel like this thing might need more traction. So what we're going to do is we're going to put stock diff back in the rear. We're not going to add any grease or anything to it. Just run it free spooling because we know that's what works best with the stock. And I'm going to keep the Losi fluid filled diff in the front. I think this diff, it doesn't really have anything in it, but it still has resistance. And then put the stock gear back, or the stock diff back in the rear. And we'll see if that works for what we're doing. But this is going to be my modified car, and like I said, I use this car to experiment with. Try different tuning setups, different ride heights, and just to see how things act. And so we're going to do that. You can see I already installed the brushless system, or the brushless motor. I've had this system in here before, and on 3S this thing would do over 40 miles an hour. The system that we've used in the past was the Quick Run 16 BL30. It's a waterproof ESC from Hobby Wing. Works perfect with this motor, nice and tight. And then we can just use either this Tactic receiver or this SLR 300 to hook up to the IXSR. We're not at this point going to do a servo upgrade, but that'll probably come. And then, so the only other thing, we need to pull the center piece out and take the motor out. The Guinea gear mesh doesn't feel that great, so we're going to go ahead and throw on this Hot Racing adjustable so we can get that gear mesh perfect and smooth. This is running the Delrin spur gear in it. Did that for weight. Don't need the big steel one. So we're going to put in this Exotech lightweight shaft also, save a little weight. And with the modified cars, we're allowed to do aftermarket companies changes. With the stock cars, we can only use Losi parts, and that's it. And so with this car, we can kind of do whatever we want. And so that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and start tearing the drive shaft out, and we'll swap all that part out. Alright guys, we got the drive shaft in, the adjustable motor mount, mounted the brushless motor back in. Everything feels pretty smooth. You can feel the torque of that motor just a little bit, but pretty free rolling. I believe that unfortunately my stock diffs that I want to put in the rear are at my shop. So I'll have to bring them back from work tomorrow to finish the rear end. But there's one other thing that I was going to talk to you guys about that I'm going to do to this thing to put it in the modified class. And in modified class, you can pretty much run whatever body you want. I know some guys want to run the truck bodies, which would be cool to have an all truck class, but also there's some guys that like the vintage ones. So we're going to run vintage and truck, and you can even run the stock body if you want. It's kind of just a whatever class with whatever power and upgrades you want, and hopefully we can get some good racing out of it. It is limited to 2S for sure for now, and then Losi tires only, which there isn't really anything else available right now, and then just the approved bodies that people are making so far. You can pretty much run whatever you want on it. It's just those, you got to have 2S, got to have Losi tires. You can run any of the Losi or the proline tires. Turns out in our stock class, the proline reds with the red writing, they seem to be the fastest. Even they make the car a little bit twitchy. You get a lot faster, lower lap times. It's just hard to get used to. We was really getting used to the Losi softs, and then the prolines came out, and they're just a little bit quicker. Okay, we got the brushless system mounted in. We got the receiver in, soldered on a new connector. This is the EcoPower connectors. They actually work with the IC2s. So if you're looking for a connector that will plug into IC2s, these actually work pretty good. The wires are a little big, so they kind of, everything seems to be seated pretty good. I hate doing IC2s, IC3s, and I especially hate IC5s. They suck. They're a terrible design, the way that you have to solder them and then snap them in. The IC5s are the worst, especially if you get a not very good quality one. Anyway, so we have the SLR 300. Older receiver should work pretty good. If I have any problems, I'll just swap it out to another Spectrum receiver that I have, but that one seemed like it should probably work fine. We're missing the fan. I may or may not put the fan back in. I don't know how hot this is going to get for what we're doing. And it's looking good, but one thing I didn't mention is what we're going to do, what the other thing is we're going to do. So this is modified, so we're going to go with the Proline Thunderbird body. Pre-cut 1996 Ford Thunderbird clear body for NASCAR race car. Really curvy, but if you can see, the way these things are made is it sits. So the rear is high. Should be more like that. Squish down. So we're not going to adjust the suspension. Obviously, we're going to adjust the body post. Put down here and get a look at what we're looking at. You see the wheel arch fits good in the front. About as low on the splitter as it can go. Alright guys, I'm going to jump in here real quick and just give a shout out to Jen's Ace. And when I was thinking about trying to come up with doing a point series, and I got the point series going, I was like, oh, I probably, for the championship race and for the point series, should see if anybody wants to jump in and help us out with some giveaway items and stuff. And we're using all primarily Jen's Ace 2300s and the Jen's Ace 1700 2S packs in all of our Losi NASCARs and 5,000 milliamp packs in our touring cars in the point series. So I thought I'd get a hold of Jen's Ace, see if they wanted to donate some giveaway prizes and be a sponsor of the point series and the championship race. They absolutely jumped in, first one to jump in, didn't even ask any questions about how many people were involved or anything like that, because it is a little bit of a small group. It's our first year doing it, and we're hoping to grow the series a little bit. We don't know how far the Losi NASCARs will go for the next couple seasons, but we're into season 2 of them being available with different liveries, and Jen's Ace is the preferred battery. The 2300 will go through multiple stages without needing recharged, and it's got tons of power. The 1700 has about the same amount of power, but it's a little bit lighter weight of a package. So if you need some batteries and you want to run 2S, check out Gen's Ace. They also have some 3S. They just don't have this connector yet, but I'm sure they're working on it. I will put a link down in the description where you can pick up some Gen's Ace batteries from, and I'll even put a link to their website. Okay, we've got all the stencils laid out how we want. We've been spending hours on the Cricut, getting everything cut, positioned where we wanted to, everything sized correctly, and everything's worked out really well. Really excited about this livery. It's going to be just kind of cool, old school, the way that they used to be, not painted too drastically. They were kind of just 1, 2, maybe 3 colors at the most, and this is what we're going for here. This is the Michael Waltrip 21 Wood Brothers Ford Thunderbird from the 90s, and it turned out really good. Lots of Citgo stickers, which is the way they did it back then. I tried to replicate everything the best I could. Decal above the door, and these 2 decals are a little bigger than they're supposed to be, but they actually are filling in a little bit of space, considering I can't do the super small ones. I don't think they'll look very good. They'll look sloppy. Cricut doesn't really like to print them very well. So we did them just a slight bigger, but they're still on there. And I think this thing's going to look awesome. So all we need to do is lay down a base coat of red paint everywhere. Pull all the masks. Most of it's going to be white and red and a little bit of graphite around the numbers. And we're going to be good to go. Alright guys, we are back. And it's been a day later. You've seen that we had the body all masked up. We actually got it painted. Worked on the car a little bit more last night. So we installed the adjustable upper arms and the adjustable steering links last night. We got the toe pretty much squared away, and the camber adjusted out a little bit. That may or may not have been a mistake. We just kind of went over the car. We got the IXSR hooked up in here, because you can use the IXSR to either any of the new Spectrum updated radios. You can either link directly to the stock system. So if you have a rugged, a DXSC, DX5, well no, I think it's just the DX6s, maybe the DX5s. If you do the update, you can hook up to SLT protocol now. Not only can you hook up to the older receivers like this one, you can hook up to your stock ESC and have a better radio with more programmability. So I used my race radio, the IXSR, got it all set up in here, and right now we did the upper links. We already went over the diffs, what I did there. What else did we do to this thing? I added, this was something I was messing with today, because I have already drove this car since this video started. We put the Hack Fab brass weight underneath the battery. I thought I would see if that would work. I figured this car is a little bit faster than the stock. I couldn't GPS it, so I can't really say mile per hour on the track, but I'm guessing we're into, I would say instead of being 19 miles an hour, easily into the mid-20s now with this, no problem. On straightaway speed, this would be even higher than that, because on 3S, this setup will do 40 miles an hour. So anyway, that's what we've got going on here. We also, you can see, we did put on the red tires. I was using the Losi softs, which work for a stock car. They did not work on this car. They were way too loose. This car had too much power. It was really hard to aim and point and shoot where we wanted this thing to go. So I tried the red ones. It was much better, but the car still needs some tunes. Needs to be tuned up. We got to do some more things with the shocks and the cambers and stuff. Anyway, guys, this is what the body looks like. Oh yeah. I think that looks pretty good for my first NASCAR livery. I mean, if you have any experience on this channel, I'm not new to painting. I have done a lot of painting videos, a lot of custom stuff, but this will be my first NASCAR livery that I've done. And I'm pretty happy with it. The 21, the number on the side, needs to be a smidge taller. Could have been, but it's fine. And then the number on the top isn't exactly centered, but for the most part, everything looks really good. So the only thing we need to do to this now, to get this body looking awesome, is we need to put on all the decals. We almost got this decaled up, and we'll almost tell you everything. But on these window stickers, you can see how foggy it is here, and the same with the front windshield and the side windows. This is the full sticker, and it's almost impossible to get all these bubbles out. You could get them out if you laid it on with like some soap or something, but an easy way to do it is to lay the sticker on, get it as flat as possible, take your X-Acto knife, trace the window very carefully. You only want to cut through the plastic, not the Lexan, and weaken it. You can see I've already pulled out these two panels, how much clearer the glass looks. And then you just take the corner of your X-Acto knife and try to peel it up. Now this is a decal, so it doesn't just come right off. It takes a second to get it going. It's pretty sticky. But if you cut it just right, it will peel off nice and clean, won't leave a residue. And then you end up with a nice clear window. Alright guys, so we've got all the decals on, so we'll just start with the rear. You can see we got the rear window trim. That really adds a lot to the body to have the black trim around. Forward, the NASCAR emblem. Not much on the sides or the back. We got the side windows on. So these side windows, you can see this rear one has a lot going on. So we left it, we didn't cut it out, but this one here is bigger. So we got a little bit clearer of a window there. Left this, and then we come to the front. Anyway, we come to the front. You can see I cut out the window there, nice and clear. Looks so much better. There's the finished product. We put the wheels and tires on. These are the old Steelies. The steel wheels that look like the classic steel wheels with a different molded tire. This tire is not soft. This tire is closer to the medium compound that the cars come with out of the box. They're also extremely greasy, so they need cleaned and probably some tire prep. But they're not going to be what we actually run on this car, just for the simple fact that they're just not going to be soft enough to get any traction. But they look cool for display. And that's the car, guys. Everything turned out really good. So this is going to be run in our modified class, which you can run the stock bodies, any wheels and tires, brushless or brushless systems. Also the truck bodies will be allowed. And it's just going to be a little bit funner. Anybody try what they want to try class. I'm really trying to work hard to get this thing to handle good with the brushless power. It was doing okay today during some testing. Things were alright. But it can be a lot better. Now, I was running it in a spot, because we run in our parking lot, where there was a lot of bumps, and this thing kept bottoming out and really upsetting it because of its extra speed. I don't know what the exact speed of this is on 2S yet. I will do a GPS on it and let you guys know, but it's quite a bit faster than what we've been running, but it's not unmanageable. Now on 3S, this thing would be undrivable on the oval unless it's monstrous. So anyway guys, hope you like this video. Please check out the links in the description for Gen's Ace. Check out any of their products. Also check out, I got links to the car, the bodies, the wheels, the tires, all the stuff that we got to build this. And if you use any of those links, they will help out the channel. Anyway guys, please like, subscribe, and share, and thanks for watching.